Amen. Somebody say it's time to invest for my future. That's what it is. We are all building for the future. We are investing into our lives for the future. We are giving our ears to the word for the future. We are building our faith for the future. Am I correct, somebody? We are praying and investing time, grooming ourselves in the Lord for a better tomorrow. Today I want to talk to you on a message that God put in my heart last night to share with you. And the title is Pay Attention. Tell your neighbor, pay attention. Say it again, pay attention. One more time, pay attention. Say it again, pay attention. Now, I would like to start by reading 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7. 2 Kings chapter 4, verse 1 to 7. The wife of a man from the company of the prophets cried out to Elijah, "Your servant, my husband, is dead. And you know that he revered the Lord, but now his creditor is coming to take my 2 boys as his slaves." Elijah replied to her, "How can I help you? Tell me, what do you have in your house?" "Your servant has nothing there at all," she said, "except a little oil." Elijah said, "Go around, ask all your neighbors for empty jars. Don't ask for just a few. Then go inside and shut the door behind you and your sons. Pour oil into all the jars, and as each is filled, put it one side." She left him, and afterward shut the door behind her and her sons. They brought the jars to her, and she kept pouring. When all the jars were full, "No," she said to her son, "Bring me another one." But he replied, "There is not a jar left." Then the oil stopped flowing. She went and told the man of God, and he said, "Go sell the oil and pay your debts. You and your sons can live on what is left." Praise God. I didn't hear you. Now, it's an interesting story. A story of a woman in pain. A story of a woman who was shaken by the fact that she may likely lose her 2 boys. Her husband, a faithful prophet, had died. But he died a debtor. He had used his sons as collateral for the loan. So you can imagine how difficult it was for him to use his own sons as collateral for the loan. But unfortunately, before he was able to pay, he passed on to glory. So this woman was mourning, and now, as the morning time was over, the man came. "Pok, pok, pok, pok. Your husband borrowed this much. I'm sure you are aware. I'm giving you some time to pay up. And if you don't pay up between so time and so time, I will take your boys, sell them, and recover my money." And so the woman of God, I call her woman of God because she was the wife of a prophet, went to Elisha, the big prophet, and said to Elisha, "Elisha, this is my situation." Now one would have thought that the moment the woman explained all that story, the man of God knows what she wants. The man of God, after telling the story, said, "What do you want me to do for you?" That's it. I've heard your story, but what exactly do you want? And the man of God now rephrased the question. I suppose he had something. I suppose something came into his spirit, so he rephrased it and asked her, "What do you have in your house that we can use to I'm completing the sentence. What do you have in your house that you can use or that God can use to provide for you? And the woman looked around, tried to calculate and picture her house. He said nothing. After she said nothing, she recollected she has just a little bottle of oil at home. That's all I have. Nothing valuable. We have nothing. And the man of God said, okay, this is what you are going to do. Now, when you go and ask your neighbors for containers, empty jars. And then when you go asking, don't ask for a few. Ask for many. You see? First instruction, get empty jars. Second instruction, don't ask for a few. Ask for many. Third instruction, when you get home, lock the door. Lock your sons and yourself inside the door. And then start pouring that oil into those jars. Now note, the man of God did not say the one jar will fill, the oil will fill all of them. He just said borrow empty containers. When you get home, lock the door, you and your sons inside, and then start pouring. So the rest you will discover yourself. And the woman paid attention to the instructions. And she did as she was told. And borrowed as many jars. Of course, having been with a prophet as husband and wife. You understand that? She must have had an idea that when God talks, God performs. And if this man of God said something, then something will happen. And so she didn't doubt. So she didn't borrow a few. She locked herself and her two sons inside. And that means if when they are pouring, someone knocks on the door must not be open. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Even if they say there is fire somewhere, that door must not be open until those jars are filled. That's the instruction. That's the implication of that instruction. Lock yourself and your son. Anyone who wants to poo-poo, let him poo-poo inside there. Because the moment that door opens, the miracle will stop. Whoever wants to ease himself, let ease himself inside that room. Because once that door is open, the miracle stops. That's the implication of the statement the man of God made. And so the woman listened and did as she was told. And then she started to pour into the jar. The little bottle. You can imagine where you have a 50-liter jerry can. And you have one small 500 ml ragolis, you know what I mean, bottled water. And you are trying to fill a 50-liter jerry can with that 500 ml or 1 liter bottle of water. And you are